Hi, I'm Anya, and I'm answering questions from young people about money and student loans. And the second question I'm going to answer is about, is there any hope for student debtors? Are there any programs that can help low-income students repay their loans, or any organizations that can help? And the good news about this is, compared to when I started writing about student loans 5 or 6 years ago, there's a lot more ways to get help. So the first organization that I would recommend that people address themselves toward is the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CPFB.gov. This is a brand new federal agency that is supposed to be the sort of watchdog on the street for consumers of all kinds, and they're addressing themselves to student loans. They have a student debt repayment assistant online, which can really help you figure out all of your options and figure out what you're eligible for. Now, the most important student loan repayment options that people need to be aware of are changing actually recently. So people may have heard about income-based repayment, they may have heard about public service loan forgiveness, and all of this is now being bundled up into what they call pay-as-you-earn. So I'm going to take these one at a time. Income-based repayment is a federal student loan repayment program, which is allowing people to limit their debt payments to a certain percentage of their income based on how much they earn. Public service loan forgiveness is specifically for people who are in public service. That means that you work for the government, you are a social worker, a teacher, a police officer, you work for a nonprofit perhaps, you work in the military, and public service loan forgiveness means that after 10 years of regular payments that your loan is going to be forgiven, written off the books, right? That's a really good news. Now these two programs are good for people that have taken out loans over the last 10 years. There is a new program that's been introduced. They're still coming out with the rules, the exact rules on it, but it's called Pay-as-you-earn. And what it's going to do eventually is very much simplify the process of applying for loan repayment. And what it's going to do is, if you have any kind of financial hardship, which basically means a low income relative to your debt, you will have the ability to limit and cap your payments at 10% of your income. So with Pay-as-you-earn, it's 10% of your income, and the loans can be forgiven after 20 years. That's a reduction from the income-based repayment terms. That was income-based repayment, forgiven after 25 years. With Pay-as-you-earn, it's going to be forgiven after 20 years, and the payment is going to be 10% of your income. Got that? So the rules for applying to Pay-as-you-earn are still being produced, and we're going to see them in early 2013. The important thing to remember right now for Pay-as-you-earn is that it's really meant for borrowers who are current borrowers. So you cannot have taken out a loan before 2007, and you have to have taken out a loan, at least one loan after the fall of 2011. So these are for people who have borrowed student loans in the last 5 years. And Pay-as-you-earn is going to be a really great option. It's going to be a lot easier for people to limit their payments. Now, there are some caveats or some drawbacks to look for as well with all of these wonderful federal repayment programs. The first drawback, obviously, is that it is not helping anyone who has private student loans, right? Private student loans, the student loans they call the Sallie Mae signature loan, or if you have a Wells Fargo loan, a loan that is not coming to you directly from the federal government, you do not have any recourse under these kinds of federal programs. The only recourse you have under private loans, if you can't pay them back, is simply to try to negotiate a payment plan, stay in good faith, and just try to negotiate with them directly. And this can be a very dicey proposition. However, if you do have federal student loans, the important thing to remember here with these kinds of programs, they are income related. You have to have a qualifying income in order to apply for these loans. There can be some red tape for getting into these programs. It can be a little bit unclear how to get into them. This is something that, again, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is trying to help people with enrolling in these programs. Pay-as-you-earn is designed to be a program that's going to be a little bit easier to figure out how to qualify for, how to apply for. So that should be an improvement as well. We're going to find out more about it in 2013. The other really big caveat, if you enroll in some kind of loan repayment or forgiveness program that people are finding, is that you may be due a tax bill on the amount of the forgiven loan. So for those people, for example, who were in the public service forgiveness, okay, I got out, I was a teacher, I taught in high needs areas for 10 years, this is great, I'm getting my loan repaid for my master's degree. Oops, oh my gosh, they forgave $100,000, and so the IRS is saying that I earned $100,000 this year, and therefore I have to pay a tax bill immediately on the entire $100,000. So if you can, review that for a second again, loans are forgiven under the federal program. The IRS counts that forgiven money as income, and therefore you owe tax on that, which is a really unexpected and kind of unfortunate hardship for a lot of people. So loan repayment programs, they are getting better. They're not perfect. They do offer great options to a lot of people, especially if you compare them to the consequences of going into default. I would recommend that everybody really look into these loan repayment and forgiveness programs. And I want to talk as well about the consequences of what happens if you do not go into a loan repayment program, but you do have more loans than you can pay off, right? So, there are two stages to falling behind on your student loans. The first stage is called delinquency, and that's from 0 to 9 months behind on your student loans. The second stage after 9 months is officially default, and that is that you've defaulted on the loan. You're no longer considered to be someone who's trying to pay it back. The delinquency issue is a really big issue because many people, there has been a grace period for undergraduates up until recently of 6 months after graduation. And a lot of people, they move, they don't keep track, they don't keep in touch with their creditors, and before they know it, oops, it's been a year and I haven't paid back a single thing on my student loans. Maybe they've been trying to contact me, maybe I haven't seen it, but now I'm behind. So what do? You really have to make contact with your lender. And the magic words to say when you call your lender is, I want to stay in good standing on my student loans. I want to make a good faith payment. I can't send you the whole payment now maybe, but I'm going to send you a lump sum as much as I can, and I'm going to send you as much as I can every month. And basically you take it from there. You want to negotiate a repayment plan that's fair for both of you. And I want to say that, student loan lenders, the people that are servicing your loan, the middlemen between you and the federal government, they know that the winds are changing. They know that there's a lot of dissatisfaction out there with the way that student lenders are acting, and so they may be inclined a little bit more to negotiate, but you have to have the facts on your side. You have to have the materials that you need, the documentation of every contact you ever have with them, because the lenders have a way of losing paperwork and pretending like they never heard from you when they did. So it's really, really important that you stay organized, you stay calm and professional, you document every contact that you have over the course of time that you're trying to negotiate a fair repayment plan, whether that is as a private borrower or with the federal government as well.